Hello everyone. So currently I'm making this little Red Riding Hood doll. This is what the finished pattern looks like. I'm in the process of making the shoes and the legs and the body section at the moment. So that's what we have here. If we can see this, hopefully it's caught on my tripod. Yeah, there's the shoes. There's the legs, and yeah, it looks a bit odd at the moment, but it'll soon come together. But anyway, the point of this video is, here my pattern tells me at this stage that I'm at now, after I've knitted these 46 rows, is to transfer every alternate stitch to adjacent needle, push empty needles to non-working position. Well, if you're using a brother machine like I am, this only works on brother machines, you can actually use your lace carriage to quickly transfer those stitches without having to use a punch card or electronics or anything. So just situate your lace carriage on the end of the needle bed. So here I am sliding the lace carriage onto the end of the bed. The machine doesn't have to be on if it's electronic, and it doesn't have to have a punch card in, it doesn't matter. So just make sure that the lace carriage is correctly seated on the needle bed. Now we're going to just push the main carriage out the way. If you have a lot more than 60 stitches on here, you're going to need to use the extension rails, otherwise your carriage will fall off. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my 1x1 needle selector and select the alternate needles. Make sure you hold the knitting back slightly to D position, the selected position. So here you can see this is the selected position. The latches are just behind the sinker posts and the stitches are still inside the hooks, so it's not quite forward working position, but this is the selected position that we want to bring the needles forward to, that we want to transfer. So here I am bringing the rest of the needles into D position. Just make sure they're nicely lined up, and you don't want an end needle to be selected because that will just drop the stitch. So we're just going to push that end needle back. So there'll be 2 stitches at the end, but that's fine. There's nothing much we can do about that. So you either need to put some weight on the knitting or just hold it down firmly. You don't want to pull too hard if you're just going to hold it like I am. You just want to put a decent amount of tension on it. Make sure your lace carriage is set to N for normal lace, and just go across with the lace carriage. And that will transfer all the stitches, but you'll notice it's brought them out to the selected position, all the needles. That's because, in my case, my electronic machine isn't switched on, and it will do this if you don't have a punch card in as well, but that's no problem at all. We'll just push them back. Okay, and you can check that they've all transferred cleanly. As I say, this isn't set up with weights, so I'm just making sure that they've all transferred properly, and they have. It's quite reliable, my lace carriage, so that's good. It just saves you a lot of time hand transferring them. It makes it much quicker. We can press the release catch at the back of the lace carriage, lift it up slightly and pull it forward to release it from the machine. Now in my case, I need to get rid of those empty needles for this particular pattern. Whoops, making sure we don't affect the end one there, because remember there's 2 stitches there. So yeah, in my case I need to get rid of those empty needles, but oftentimes if you were just making like a picot hem or something, you'd leave those empty needles in work. But for this stage of this particular pattern, it instructs us to remove those needles from work, because I'm guessing it wants us to do some sort of a gathered top, because now it wants us to tighten the tension by 1 whole number. So tension 4 in my case, and it tells you to knit 2 rows. Another thing is just, if you've had your carriage pushed all the way to one end of the bed, is just to take the slack back through the auto tension. And there we go. Now I can carry on with my pattern. So yeah, hopefully that helped. I'm sure most of you knew this, but if you didn't, that's just a quick tip for you. You could also use a garter bar as well if you have a silver reed machine and you think, oh, I want a quick way of transferring stitches as well. You could set up your lace carriage on a silver reed machine and set up with a punch card. The way that their transfer system works and needle selection is different on Knitmaster and silver reed machines. It does it as it knits the row rather than pre-selecting the row ahead. So yeah, you could use a garter bar if you're on a silver reed machine, because it'd just be more trouble than it's worth setting up your lace carriage with a card in. So but yeah, hopefully that helps, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks very much for watching.